Welcome, everybody, to another edition of The Catwalk. I'm your host, Jay Whitlow. Welcome. We didn't do a mic check.
I was getting it while you were talking.
That's your opener.
The Catwalk Podcast showcases the greatest of the people of the Permian Basin through partnering and conversation with high-level leaders, social entrepreneurs, nonprofit leadership, and industry executives.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Catwalk. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all of our platforms. I want to introduce to you our special guest today. Our guest is Erin Wallander. Erin was born in Billings, Montana, ended up moving to Sheridan, Wyoming, her senior year of high school. In 2007, Erin attended the Art Institute of Colorado, where there she received a Bachelor of Arts in Interior Design and Associates of Applied Science in Kitchen and Bath Design. After college, Erin moved to Dickinson, North Dakota in 2012. She met her husband there and then was transferred to Houston in 2017. Erin then moved to Midland in 2020, and from there she joined a remote company out of San Francisco during COVID. In 2021, Erin opened Phases of Design, a one-stop interior design firm for residential and commercial projects as well as new construction and remodels. Erin is a nationally certified interior designer and registered interior designer, and we are pleased to welcome to the Catwalk, Erin Wallander.
Elevate your operation with Performance Chemical Company, the pioneers in redefining chemical solutions for the oil and gas industry in the Permian Basin. Unveiling groundbreaking ideas since 2017, our dry chemistry plant stands as a testament to innovation. Our products and services revolutionize water treatment, production, midstream, and saltwater disposals. We're your strategic partners in optimizing investments, slashing operating expenses. Performance Chemical Company. How you get there matters.
Hey, welcome back to the Catwalk, everyone. I'm your host, Jay Whitlow. I want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe on all of our platforms. And I am joined today, as always, sitting across the room from me today is the great Chris DeGaulle. Chris, what's up?
Oh, not a lot. How are you?
I'm great. I saw you got your car back.
I did.
Yeah, are
Very
you excited
about that?
Yeah, that's your. I think do you have a name for the car, or you just call her?
This one is called Phoebe.
Phoebe. That's what you call your car.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got Phoebe back.
Thank you.
Where did Phoebe come from? Where'd that name?
It's a reference to Ghostbusters.
Of course it is. Of course,
Just like
it
all
is.
my cars have been.
Of all things, it'd have to be Ghostbusters. Well, Chris, we are so excited today to have with us a very special guest. I want to introduce the person to my left. This is Erin Wallander.
Yes, hello. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
Welcome to the Catwalk. We're
Thank
glad that
you.
you're here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Do you have a name for your car?
I don't. I guess it depends on if it's being good or bad.
That's a good
Yeah.
answer.
So in that case, I shouldn't say.
I would never call my car Phoebe, but
I immediately went Phoebe from Friends. Like,
that's
You know,
Snapped
that's where
right
some
to it.
people have asked. It's gone from, because I haven't named any of my crappier cars because they don't deserve a name.
shouldn't,
But
yeah.
ever since I started buying new cars, which was years ago, I named them all from female characters from the Ghostbusters.
That's funny.
And it's like, I had one, first one was named Janine. And I even had, like when it has the car make, that emblem that you can get on the back of the car, I had one of those made with
that
a
said
name on
the
it.
name.
Yeah.
that says Phoebe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's
not
funny.
this one, but one that was named Janine several years ago.
I love how we all always call our vehicles and motor things by a female. It's always a her. It's never a him.
I wonder why that is. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with the love that you have for it.
Maybe. Even my dad, he's always like, she's a good girl.
my
Talking
God,
about
that's
his
crazy.
vehicles.
I went with Friends too. That's exactly where I went with Phoebe. But because I know him, I know that cat over there. He had to go some kind of crazy movie or wrestling thing.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
Phoebe
much.
from Ghostbusters. That's pretty cool. Well, I got a question for both of you. I want an answer from this. Would you consider a taco and a burrito to be a Mexican style sandwich? Chris, what do you think?
I think you have to now, because didn't a judge rule that it is considered a sandwich?
You're exactly right. Would you call Erin, would you call a taco or burrito a Mexican style sandwich?
I don't know if I would, because don't they have a type of sandwich called something? It's like there's a name for it.
A
it literally-
torta?
Huh?
A torta?
Yeah, wouldn't that be more like a sandwich?
It is, but
I feel like he
think
could have been wrong.
What that would also though make a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh,
True.
True.
True. And I don't want to get into the whole hot dog as a sandwich thing, but you brought up a good point about the judge, because in Indiana, there was a restaurant that is in a development, and you're an entrepreneur, so you know business and probably have to jump through hoops and hurdles to get your business up and running. And in this specific restaurant area, all of the restaurants had to sell deli-styled sandwiches, but this gentleman sold tacos and burritos, and he fought the city on getting the permit, and the judge went with it. And I'll read it. It says, an Indiana judge has declared that tacos and burritos are a Mexican-style sandwich that this guy won. I have never heard of that before.
So, to be fair, though, is Indiana the appropriate place to determine what a taco is?
Exactly. Yeah. And who decided that it needed to get to this point? Who puts a mandate on a town of where you can and cannot sell deli sandwiches?
Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious.
That was the thing that I thought. I was like, okay, you got a strip mall and you're only allowed to sell sandwiches. Isn't that weird? Like, so a lot of businesses will say, like, if I am say I have a massage business, this shopping center is not going to have 2 massage businesses.
Right.
So why would this business have 15 sandwich shops?
It's so competitive. That would be so stressful. Every day you go to work and you're like, man, I better lower my sandwich 2 cents to be able to make the best
You're
deal.
always fighting.
Yeah, exactly. But who in the world has the time to sit down and argue about what is a sandwich and what's not? Because I would think 2 pieces of bread with meat inside of it is a sandwich.
Yes.
But then there's 15 different kinds of versions of the sandwich. And I'm with you. Why did Indiana get to be the front runner in the Mexican style sandwich department? That's my
It's
biggest.
Also, going to North Dakota and the Midwest, there's a place called Taco John's,
Oh, gosh, yeah.
and they owned the term Taco Tuesday.
Really?
Did they really?
They stole
they
it?
They owned it.
Or no, Rosa stole it then.
Well, yeah, Roses. So, and people have been suing them to get the rights to freely use the term Taco Tuesday.
So breaking news here on the catwalk, Rosa's has stolen
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday from this place in North Dakota.
Taco John's.
John's.
Taco
I'm not
John's.
pointing-
That's
I'm not
awesome.
pointing any fingers, but
Oh, I am.
I don't know if that has been dropped or if they
That's funny.
gave up that fight. But yeah, Taco John's owned Taco Tuesday.
Well, what a great segue into where you're from.
Kind of,
Because
yeah.
You're from that area
Yes,
of the
the north.
country. So, Erin, thank you again so much for being here. Our viewers and listeners may not know a whole lot about you. Some may know about your business, Phases of Design, but they may not know about you. So we want to take just a few moments for you to tell us about yourself. So where are you from? Kind of walk us through childhood, what was life like where you grew up. Get us to college.
All the way to college. That's
Yeah.
a long road.
Yeah.
But I actually grew up in Montana, so adjacent to North Dakota, and it was a really great life. So we were always in the country. My dad is a John Deere guy. He sold John Deere tractors. My mother worked at a utility company, and I mean, it was a really nice life. So we were always out in the field. We had sugar beets in the back, and we walked the culverts picking asparagus when we'd walk home.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Asparagus
Asparagus,
and beets?
yes, yeah.
2 things that are not in my diet or on my plate or anything.
You don't eat
right?
asparagus?
No.
I feel like if I was a little kid and like fast forward to now, I'd be so rich because I would just go pick asparagus and sell it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And your dad did John Deere?
He was John Deere man.
Chris, didn't your dad do John Deere?
He's a diesel mechanic. My uncle owns a John Deere repair shop and parts store,
Where? What town?
Crosbyton.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
35
Texas.
miles east.
Oh,
of
here in
Lubbock.
Texas. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you have brothers, sisters?
Have a brother, older brother, 3 years old.
Okay.
We got along for the most part until I got older, and of course, like any sibling would do, we decided that we didn't like each other any longer. But yeah, family was all there. Everybody grew up in Billings, Montana. I don't know if you guys know where that is,
Yeah.
but it was a really nice place to grow up in.
Yeah, and then you moved your senior year, is it?
Yes, my
to
senior year of high school.
Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was that like?
Sheridan was a culture shock. I went from a town that was small compared to a lot of places in Texas, but to Midland, big. So Billings was probably about 100,000, 90,000, and Sheridan was like about 25,000. So really small, really cliquey. And as a girl who's going your senior year, it's not the most fun to have. But the way that my parents made it fun is there was a mountain called Bighorn Mountain. We would just go up every weekend and go motorcycling and four-wheeling, and it made it fun.
You take asparagus up and eat asparagus.
It didn't grow there. It didn't grow there.
It didn't
No.
grow
The
in
no.
Wyoming.
It
Okay,
couldn't
good.
grow
I
in
like
Wyoming.
then. Okay, so according to your bio, I didn't say this earlier, but you have something that you accomplished your senior year of high school. You sang in Carnegie Hall.
I did.
Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I think it might have been my junior year, senior. I can't remember at this point, but it was a pretty amazing experience. So we grew up singing. All my family kind of, well, maybe not my brother. Maybe not my mom either. So maybe not everybody.
Not everybody in the family sings, but I do.
Some people sing. And yeah, we just had an opportunity. My school took us to New York and we sang in Carnegie Hall. And it was quite an experience.
Do you remember what you sang?
I don't. You want to know what's so funny? I really don't. I don't know if it was like the excitement. I mean, we probably rehearsed it for an entire year, but I have no clue what
Really?
I sang there. What's funny, my mom sent me a box of all of our stuff from growing up because she wanted to get out of her own house. And the playbill was there. And I should look through and see what it was that we sang.
Were you
So-
on the play? Were you on the playbill?
I should have been. If I am, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
So, surprise, what we're going to do today on the show is we're going to do karaoke.
Yes. What song are we going to do?
Well, we're going to give you a couple of options.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Chris, go. What's your option?
Celine Dion.
Oh,
Celine
Lord.
Dion,
My heart will go on.
professionally trained.
You are professionally trained?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
I'm not. I don't know where that's going, but that's a funny point. So what did you think of? You're a junior, senior in high school. What did you think of New York? Did you want to move there? Was that something that you wanted to do? Was singing something that you wanted to be?
I did.
when
I
you
always
grew up?
wanted to sing. Yeah, it was always really important to me. But I mean, dreams are one thing, and sometimes you got to focus on others. So we grew up actually building our houses my entire life. And so that kind of was always something that I circled back to is, should I be an architect or should I be a builder or a contractor or something like that? So I had a dream, but I had also a head on my shoulders.
We're
That
like, I don't know if that's going to pay the bills
Yes,
one
yes.
day or something. Yeah. So who would you say you like the most in music and singing? Who do you like? Are you a Taylor Swiftie or?
I know this is really crazy, but I honestly love everything.
Really?
Yes, everything. Like when I just pulled up to here, I think I was listening to Steve Miller Band or maybe Jim Croce. So sometimes I go all the way back and sometimes I'm all the
wow.
way to T Swift. So you just never know. Whenever you get in my car, it's something different.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what song would be on your Spotify right now? What's that one go-to song?
I'm a Hall & Oates person. I really like
Really?
it. So I would say probably something from Hall & Oates would be on my go-to.
That's
Spotify.
awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. So what was it like in Montana and Wyoming as far as the country, the scenery compared to Midland?
There were these things called mountains. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Let me describe it to you.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, please. And a tree. Can you describe trees?
There were mountains and trees and rivers. Yeah, it was incredible. It was very green, lots of rivers. It was just an opportunity for when you're a kid and you're growing up just to get out in the fields.
Right.
And then you could be out in the summer because it wasn't scorching hot.
Do you ever go back?
I do. Yeah, my parents actually live in Big Sky, if anybody knows where that is. Big Sky, Montana.
Good restaurant.
And my
Here in Midland, Big Sky. Oh, that's Blue Sky.
That's Blue Sky.
Yeah,
That's the Burger House. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then my brother's in Bozeman, so I used to get back all the time when we lived in
Okay.
Houston, but flying out of Midland is a little bit more tricky. So I would say a couple times a year I get up there.
Okay. All right. So, Erin, you graduated high school and didn't want to do music, singing.
Right.
What were you pursuing that led you to college?
What was I? Gosh, it's so funny. I was actually kind of lost for a minute. We moved my senior year. I took a year of just kind of like going to a community kind of college to get some associates, and then all of a sudden, just like hit me that Erin, you need to go be an interior designer. I don't know what it was or what the epiphany. Probably my parents pushing, and so they drove me to Denver, and I had signed up for college, and the rest is history.
They drove you to Denver.
And dropped me off. They're like,
Literally
"Get out."
dropped you off, right? Did they leave you with a car or anything?
I did have a car.
Right, and you probably had a good name to that car. So you went in for interior design. Do you think that had something to do with building houses when you guys were younger? That kind of maybe put that in the back of your head at some point,
I
or
think so.
where was it that maybe that light came on that interior design was what you needed to go for?
It kind of always made me happy because it was something that since we built our own homes, I mean, it takes a long time, especially when you're doing it by yourself. So it was a time that always kind of made me happy. I was with my family. We were working hard together. We were creating something together. And so I think that kind of just made it so I wanted to love what I was going to do, and I loved doing interior design. I love doing architecture.
What college did you go to?
The Art Institute of Colorado. It was a
That's in Denver.
swanky private school. It's in Denver, yeah. If I ever have kids, I told my husband, we're not having our child go to private college.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah, I've got two in private, one out of private college and one about to go to private college. Yeah, don't recommend it at all. Did you have a good college experience? Did you like Denver? Did you like that community? Tell me about
I
college
love Denver.
life.
So sticking with the mountains and sticking with outdoors, because I'm always hiking.
There's
I'm
a
always
theme.
wanting to get outside. Yeah. Denver was kind of like the best playground ever. And it was kind of during a time where the city still was very safe. I probably wouldn't move that back there now at this point in my life. It's just very different. But yeah, I loved it. It met great people. Everybody was outdoorsy. So when you're not in college, you're out doing something instead. It's kind of a theme for me. I don't really like to be indoors, I guess.
Yeah, there's this outdoor theme going here because I know you love to travel.
Yes, I do.
So we'll get into some of that in a little bit. So after you graduated, what was next? Did you immediately find a job, or did you just kind of go back home? Walk me through what was life like right after you graduated. Did you know what you were going to do?
Kind of. I graduated in 2010 and I already had a job at a kitchen and bath firm, a high-end one in Cherry Creek, Colorado. And they actually needed to let me go because that was during an economy kind of break in the Denver area and lots of areas due to the housing market. So I went back into college for one more year to get my associates. And then when I graduated, things still weren't great. So I actually had to figure out a way to be able to make money. And I moved to Dickinson, North Dakota, which sounds crazy if you don't know me. But my parents already lived there. And so they just said, come here. There's literally help wanted signs on every single door. So I was like, man, leaving Denver, this beautiful mountain town with all my friends, and moving to Dickinson. I'd never been. It was flat again. Yeah. So maybe it warmed me up to Midland.
Not a huge population, probably.
Not a huge population.
So your parents had moved to Dickinson while you were at school, or? Okay. So then they invited you to come and you worked. What did you do? Did you find a good job there in Dickinson?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really outgoing. I don't know if you can tell yet. So as soon as I knew I had to get a job, I literally printed a resume like a child would. Yeah. I walked around to every single place that I possibly had anything to do with building, with construction, with cabinets, with selling materials, any of that. And I met the most amazing people. The Toozes is their last name.
Toozes?
Toozes, Tooz. I hope people look it up because they're the most amazing family ever.
Toozes.
Yep.
Okay.
And so they had a construction firm and they were wanting to branch out and do an architectural side of it. Already had an engineer lined up, so boundary engineering was just in the works, and it was like literally perfect timing. It was crazy.
Wow. All right, so you're there, you're working. Did you meet your husband in Dickinson?
I did, yeah.
Okay, tell me about how that happened.
It's funny. He says there's a attractive woman behind every tree. Behind every tree, and there weren't very many trees where he was at in Williston, so he lucked out and found one, I guess he says.
So wait a minute.
That's the saying. There's an attractive girl behind every tree. And I don't think there was very many trees. I don't know.
Chris, have you heard that?
I've not heard that saying, but I do know there are not many trees in Williston.
So I wonder if that's it. Yeah, I should have looked up the saying.
This is interesting because if he says there's an attractive girl behind every tree, but there's not that many trees,
then he lucked out, man.
Then there's not that many attractive girls there? Is that what that's saying? And then he lucked out and found you behind what? So what trees are up there? Are they like not palm trees, obviously, but are they oak?
Do I look like an arborist?
Yes, you do look like an arborist.
No clue what kind of trees are up there.
You should make something up. Hurry up. Make something up.
You'll
never know.
It's an aspen. I know because of the way it is.
It's just the way it is. All right, how did you guys meet?
We met at a friend's kind of house party because house parties, just like here, were kind of popular there because the population's low. And so we met at a house party. We actually didn't get together for probably another 8 months, maybe even a year after that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. C'est la vie. No, I'm kidding. I was just busy. I wanted to be able to work, and I was there for a purpose.
So you're focused, right? You're like, hey, I'm focused. This is mine. And he's like, I'm finding a cute girl behind a tree.
Yeah.
Right?
And then mildly stalking. I mean,
What?
yeah, this happened. Yeah. So he actually memorized my license plate number, and we'd have buddies kind of like let him know when I was going to the gym
He
or something.
stalked you.
Yeah. And I married him. So which one's worse?
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
That's not weird. And that's before like the advent of the Life 360 and all the phone tracking things and stuff. How did he track you like Jason Bourne?
Did we even have that kind of cell phone yet? Because I mean, think about it, that's like 10 years ago.
How long have you been married?
We've only been married for 5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
But you've known him
We were
for
together for 10 years. Yep.
10 years. Okay, so 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's some tracking stuff, right? You're the tracking guy over
I
there.
don't think
Why
there
would
was.
I be the
You're the
tracking guy?
arborist and the tracking guy.
I don't track
You have so many
anybody.
hats.
Apparently so.
do.
But my concern is how many friends did he hire to keep an eye on where you're going?
Ooh, great question.
I was really safe.
Do you
and
know their
didn't know
names?
it.
Most people usually the next step in that conversation is file a restraining order.
Yeah. Mine was let's
But
get
you're like,
married.
Let's get married.
Yeah, immediately when you found out that you were being stalked and tracked, you were like, let's get married.
No, I guess.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So did he propose or did you propose?
He proposed in Montana, actually. Yeah.
In Montana. So you guys went back from 'cause I
Back
don't
from
know
North
that
Dakota.
I don't know the geography up there. To me it's all one big city, right? All of Idaho, Montana, North.
It's all
South
one.
Dakota. It's just all
We
one
gotta
big
get you
city
back
up
to
there.
some classes.
I need to,
Geography
I didn't pay
classes.
attention in that class.
Didn't you teach college?
I did, but not that kind of.
Okay.
I didn't do geography.
There's usually some level of education.
Well, yeah, but you know what my
Required.
degree was in, so
Yeah, home ec.
yeah, that's a whole nother story that
So you're a really good cook?
Okay, see, why does everybody say
He majored
that?
in making brownies.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a
Okay, so
baker.
I went to school back in the dark ages, right, at Tech, and my degree was human development and family counseling, and it was in the College of Home Economics. So my degree says College of Home Economics, but then underneath it says Bachelor of Human Development and Family Counseling. So
So the little
no,
words.
I didn't know how to carry an egg and a baby and make brownies, but that's funny. He brings it up every week, so it drives me crazy. Okay, so you guys got married, and you got engaged in
We engaged in Montana, married in Belize. We eloped.
Belize, like the foreign country Belize. Okay, that's not a city in North Dakota. See, I don't know. So you could tell me that, and I would just believe it. Okay, so you guys got married in Belize, and then he's working in oil and gas,
Yep.
and you're in interior design.
Yep.
And then what happened? Because I think economy started crumbling. This was before COVID, right?
Yeah, so we
So what
actually,
happened?
from North Dakota, we got proposed. He proposed to me because my mother's like, you're going to move my daughter to Houston. You better marry her. And so she actually, there's a weird dynamic.
This is, yeah, let's unpack this.
So we moved, before we moved to Houston, got engaged, moved to Houston. We were actually there for 4 years, I think, and then transferred here. Yeah, it's a lot of moving, which I kind of like, honestly.
So you moved here during COVID.
Yes, 2020 March.
Okay. And I think you said you worked for a company out of San Francisco?
I did, yeah.
Okay, tell me about that. Was it interior design?
Yeah,
too,
well,
or?
yeah. So it's a company. The concept's amazing. Unfortunately, it didn't make it. The company ended up closing when COVID started opening back up. But the whole concept was you would literally virtually meet with a designer to design out your bath space. They started in bathrooms. They wanted to expand to kitchens,
Right.
and so all of it was virtual, which we all needed at the time. And you literally meet with these people, design. Like do a room scan, design all their materials, and then the only person that would go actually to their house was the contractor. The concept
Really?
was genius. I kind of want to steal it, but that will be later down the road. Maybe I will. But yeah,
We will
unfortunately,
steal that
yeah,
later
we
down
should.
the
We need
road,
to
yeah.
steal that. I think that's going to be a moneymaker.
Yeah. So that didn't pan out after COVID was over,
Right,
or did
yeah.
you walk away from that, or?
So they let me know that we had a 3-month mark, and so we're closing doors. We're not taking on any more projects. I was
Right.
like, holy smokes! Like I got to figure out what I want to do. And I already had phases of design set up. I was just letting it sit back because I was making money.
Right.
And so as soon as I found out that Erin, you might not be making money anymore, I was like, okay, well let's jump.
Let's jump. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about phases of design because that's your business, and it's an interior design company, right?
Yes.
For new builds, for remodels,
Mm-hmm.
commercial, residential, the whole thing. But I want to ask you talk to me about the industry, because here's my limited knowledge, which may be the same as those that are viewing and listening. My only knowledge of the industry of interior design is Chip and Joanna,
Oh, the games.
right?
Yeah.
And then before that, it was Ty Pennington, and he had a show on ABC. It was an Extreme Home Makeover.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my whole context of interior design. But I think it's bigger than that. Would you agree? Or
It is.
Okay, so walk me through why interior design. Why does that fit for you? And then tell me about the industry.
Yeah. So interior design, unfortunate, it's kind of a vague term. So whenever I say interior design, everybody's like, oh, you're an interior decorator. And it's fine. Like that's normal. Just it's not that way. So as an interior designer, I do, like you said, new construction and remodels for commercial and for residential spaces. What's interesting here, since we're kind of in that boom and bust town, we have a lot of homes from that, like, every time that we boom, everybody builds, and then we bust and everybody remodels. So what's nice about being here is I'm able to work right now predominantly in remodels. And that's just because interest rates are really high, so people don't want to go buy a whole new house. And then when we're doing great, I do more new builds. So as an interior designer, I meet with the client, either the client or the contractor, and I literally design all of the interior walls and exterior walls of their house. I have some
Colors and texture and
as far as a layout. So your window sizes, your door size locations, your lighting plans, all of the things that it takes for your house to be a home. Yeah. And then I'll come back through and do your fixed finishes, but I usually won't do any kind of furnishings. That's not something that I do.
Okay. So is it safe to say, again, then I want to hear about more of the company. So if I had an opportunity to remodel my house, I would hire you out. You would come in and get me the floor plans. You would look at everything. You're not just going to come in and rearrange my furniture.
No.
Right? Because that's what I think. It's like, hey, the room is boring. Could you do something to my room? So walk me through, like, what's the best part about your job and in the industry? Is it seeing people and their response to the work that you provide, and then how do you deal with the person who goes, oh, I don't like your design? I've seen all those shows where they're like, move the bus.
The drama.
And people look at it and they're like, oh, yay, that's nice. So walk me through that. What's been some of the best parts about your job, and then how you handle maybe somebody who doesn't like your idea?
Right. That's actually, I kind of enjoy that, because the challenge is why I'm in business. Like, I like to be able to go through the details of ensuring every single space is different, because everybody functions differently. And so interior design is all about how you're functioning in a space. And so if I didn't design it properly, or if it's not working for them, that's because it's not functioning for them, and I need to get to know them better. What's their routine like, or what's their family like? And that kind of is a solution there. Rewards for my job is who I get to meet. Like, every single person's different, and I get to know them on a level that is very intimate, because they're telling me about how they're using their bathrooms and what they're doing in their kitchen. So, and then on a commercial side of it, I actually have a client right now. He was like, this we do design development. That's how you start, to make sure that when you get into construction documents, it doesn't blow up and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And he was like, hey, this actually isn't working for me. Let's try and revisit it. I love that. Like, I want him to be honest with me now, so we can iron it out and make the space perfect for him.
Okay. So if I'm about to build a house, you're going to meet with my builder first, or with me, to find out how I want this. Because I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't care where you put a window.
Right.
Right? Do you find yourself, when you go into different people's homes and stuff, of starting to
I
critique?
scan. Yes, every single thing. I keep my mouth closed now that I've gotten older and learned my
Have
lessons.
you gotten in trouble doing that?
Yes. I'll be like, yes, I will say I used to say comments, but now I just keep it to myself, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always scanning. It doesn't matter if I'm at a restaurant, in an airport. That's actually why we travel a lot, is because I want to go out and see culture and see architecture and kind of bring it back and try and utilize it here.
That's a great segue into the question I was going to ask about traveling. Do you find some inspiration by traveling outside of Midland or outside of the U.S.? Do you find that where you're like, hey, I was in France, I think y'all were there recently.
Just there.
Do you bring anything back and you're like, oh, this would be a great piece for this home or for this style?
Yes. Well, I brought back a few pounds when we went to France. But beyond that, yes, bread, wine, and food.
Okay, that. I was like, pounds. Wait a minute. What is that?
I always bring stuff back. Yeah, as far as how I can use. It's interesting. Before we went to France, I had 2 clients that were very Tuscan style flair, and I hadn't done warm palettes in a really long time, or that kind of ornate details. And it was kind of perfect timing because when I went to France, I mean, it was perfect opportunity to kind of steal some ideas from there. But yeah, everywhere we go, I'm always looking at different. We actually went to Mexico City. And you would think that Mexico City, like you would think concrete, and you would think, very simple stone buildings, like maybe ugly because it's so populated. I think it's the 4th largest city in the world. It was green. They had green walls everywhere, and it was really. I actually took a lot back from Mexico City because their architecture was very clever and had a lot of character. So yeah, everywhere we go, I'm constantly looking.
What's the like the hot colors right now scheme that you would do in a home?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to not let it happen yet. People are trying to bring back beige, but we're calling it greige. Greige is okay.
Wait, greige?
Greige,
Which
yes.
is a
It's like a blend, right? So we're
combo of-
trying to not jump into beige because beige lasted for way too long. So greige is like a warm gray, is what we're calling it. So
beige is a warm gray.
beige is like warm yellow,
Warm
and
yellow.
gray's too cool. So greige
Okay.
is like a good like middle tone.
See, I don't even know my colors.
Yeah, see?
I don't know cities.
I think that one was made up.
Could be.
I don't think
It
it's
could
in
be.
the dictionary.
So basically, there's more to interior design, fashion. I guess would that be another
It's
word?
constantly changing.
It's constantly changing. You can't just go into your local Walmart or Lowe's and just pick out a color and then make it work. There's really a lot of time and effort that should go into it.
Well, actually you could. I mean, Home Depot, you absolutely go in and buy whatever you need. It all depends on budget, right? So I wouldn't want to put anybody down for
I'm paying
going
you
out
to
there.
do this, right?
Yeah. So if you're paying me to do it, I guess color palette wise, it's really just based on what my client wants. Marbles are really in right now.
Marble.
Marble.
Okay.
Marble's been actually for a while. Your black palette's still doing great. So yeah, all your palettes, everything's changing based on style, and everybody's style is different. I can do somebody's house that's super modern, like very streamlined, or I'll have someone that's doing the custom Tuscan house that I just got done with. So everybody's different, and that's why, again, I love it so much because it doesn't matter what I think and what I like. I'm not going to put judgment on for what somebody else wants. I'm just going to make sure that they always get what they wanted. And sometimes it's so funny. I had a client call me a couple days ago. She's like, I know this. I was so scared to call you because I thought I was going to sound stupid. I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know the names of styles. I was like, you don't need to know names. Just send me a picture and we can figure this out. So
Yeah, I don't know Styles either.
No.
Except Harry Styles
oh, wow.
from One Direction.
Got it.
I know that.
Is that going to be who you sing for our
No,
karaoke session?
That's not who I'm going to be able to sing. That's not. I do have some fun questions I want to ask you, and then we'll get to the point of wrapping this up. Can you fold a fitted sheet?
No. My grandmother even taught me to, and she, God rest her soul, she's amazing. She was so good. She would like put her fists inside and like be able to tuck them and bring them back around, and it'd be literally you're supposed to put your fists in each one, and then you fold it into your arms. You fold yourself into the fitted sheet.
You fold yourself into the sheet. Okay.
Fold yourself into the fitted sheet.
That does make a little bit
So
of
no,
sense.
I am
Yeah,
still not very good at
fold
it.
yourself in. I can't fold a fitted sheet. I got to be careful because I almost cussed there. Fold a fitted sheet. I cannot do that. I cannot even speak. What's the weirdest thing in your refrigerator?
Oh, the weirdest thing in my refrigerator? I don't know if I have anything weird. We're very healthy eaters. So weird.
Oh, yeah, asparagus. I forgot you mentioned that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Asparagus and
I mean, we
beets.
did. So my husband really liked the cheese in France. So we went and had some like packaged there.
Yeah.
And so we still have French cheese, which when you hear that, we've been home for probably 4 weeks now. You think, man, that's probably rotten cheese. So that could be weird, but I promise it's not rotten. Truffle cheese. If you haven't had it, go eat
Truffle
some truffle
cheese.
cheese. It's like, oh, so good.
Where's your favorite place to eat in Midland?
Oh my gosh. I'd say Venetia's would be one of my top ones. It's like every time you go, it's good. Yeah. We go to Cork and Pig all the time too.
Cork and Pig's great.
Hmm. I need to start getting out of Odessa more because they actually have more restaurants than Midland does.
That's what I hear. Yeah. If you were a shoe, would you be the left shoe or the right shoe?
I would probably be the right shoe. Yeah.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Always step in the right direction. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Sorry.
look at that.
Dad joke.
Look at that. Yeah. Throwing out the dad jokes there. Getting back to cooking, I do have an asparagus recipe if you want to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way that I saw this on Instagram. You can do this with other, I guess, vegetables or whatever, but specifically for asparagus that you brought up. So take it and lay it out on a cookie sheet, individual. Cut them in threes,
Okay.
and then just sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on it, just to kind of give it a little coating, and then dust it with a little salt, some pepper, some seasoning that you want. Then do the oven at about, say, 450, 400, and put that in for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then pull them out, and then throw them in the trash.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, he doesn't
Order
eat
a
asparagus.
pizza.
I was waiting.
I was waiting. I was like, this story is getting too long and it's not fancy yet.
I was like, you got to the garbage part way later than I thought you were going
Yeah,
to.
my delivery
Pull it
was
out,
taking a
cut
long
it up,
time.
throw it away.
Throw it away.
That's what I was waiting for.
If you could meet any celebrity, who would you want to meet?
I don't know if I paid close enough attention to celebrities. Honestly, I know that sounds really bad, but I really don't think I pay close enough attention to celebrities to care about meeting them. I'd rather meet somebody just ordinary because aren't they just as cool? Just they don't have a camera staring at them.
Great point. So, who would be ordinary that you'd want to meet?
Oh, I know this is going to sound really bad, and it's very political. And I don't mean to take this way. I want to meet Donald Trump, and not because I love him, but because I got to know, like, I have to be a part of one conversation just to see, is he as crazy as they say he
That
is?
would be a great conversation.
Yeah, it just has to be very brief.
If you have a question, you would ask him.
Is your hair real?
That's the one question you would ask if you're sitting down with
Is your
Donald Trump.
tan real?
Is your tan real? Chris, what would you ask if you were sitting down? Would you ask him about his hair? I don't know if I want to hear this.
Yeah, I don't think I should answer this question. It might jeopardize some viewers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to keep it light. So we'll start with the hair.
Yeah, we'll start
and
with the
we'll
hair.
kind of go
Yeah,
from there.
Tell me about your hair. Yeah. What's your go-to board game?
Oh, actually, right now we're playing this game. My husband and I love to play games.
Yeah.
We have this one called One-Eyed Jacks, and it's literally like this big framed board, and you have cards cut into quarters, and you use chips,
Okay.
and there's 7 cards, and you like each one has to get 3 5 in a row chips. It's a blast. You should look into it. It's like really fun to
What's
pass
it
time.
called? One-eyed?
One-Eyed Jacks.
One-eyed Jacks.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then a card game would be probably 3 to 13. I love.
What's your
that one.
husband's name?
Chris.
Chris, what does he feel about interior design? Is he like, I don't care what you do to our house, do whatever you want to it, just leave my space alone? Or is he big supporter?
Oh, absolutely. My husband's seriously my biggest cheerleader. It's really remarkable. I think that's why we do so well together is we both heavily support each other. But as far as like home things, he doesn't have a space. It's all mine.
He doesn't have a space?
No, I wait until he leaves town. Whenever I want to do a big project, I wait till he leaves town and then he comes home and he's like, oh, wow, it looks great. Yeah.
Okay, now wait a minute. So he leaves town
Yeah.
and you redo everything.
I redo a lot. Yeah. The last one was the kitchen. I don't know if you follow me on Insta.
Yeah.
I decided that I needed to update my kitchen, but
Right.
it turned out being a little bit more than an update.
So did you tell him to keep being gone?
I mean, I wanted to, but he came home and I was like, hey.
Could you go out to eat or something? I still got
kitchen's
another hour.
Kind of destroyed at the moment.
Yeah, that's funny.
The newest one's our closet, but he was on board with that one. But yeah, I mean, you can't help it. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And his house is always beautiful.
Well, I appreciate your time. I want to wrap
Thank you.
things up
Appreciate you.
with a couple of questions. And again, thanks for your time. If we were, we're sitting at this table and having a conversation, think about this. Who would you allow to sit at your table that could pour into you, that spends time to you? Who do you listen to?
Oh, I love the way you phrased that. That was perfect. I just recently lost my grandpa John, and he was an incredible human being. It's funny because when I knew him as a young kid, he was actually very hard and rough, and he didn't even care anything about us. But as I got older, all of a sudden he took interest in me. I would say that if I could have anybody be at my table, or in his case, back at my table, it would be him, because everything, he was an entrepreneur. This man, he grew up in a shack with no floor in the middle of the mountains with his sibling, and literally made like a mark out of himself. He had a barber shop, he bought properties, he flipped properties. So if there was somebody, I always listened to him, and I was always, everything I do right now, we're about to buy another piece of property. I always think, well, I hope he would be proud of me. Or I always think about how should I move forward thinking that he can still talk to me about it. So I would say him.
Wow. What do you want to be known for?
Excellence.
That's a great word.
I want to be known for excellence. I'm really hard on myself, and I like to. I'm a very compulsive, and I'm very obsessive over making people happy and making sure I'm doing well, not only myself but also actually predominantly professionally. So I guess I want to be excellent at what I do.
That's a great answer. Great word. Great word. Erin Wallander, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining with us. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We will see everybody next week.
Elevate your operation with Performance Chemical Company, the pioneers in redefining chemical solutions for the oil and gas industry in the Permian Basin. Unveiling groundbreaking ideas since 2017, our dry chemistry plant stands as a testament to innovation. Our products and services revolutionize water treatment, production, midstream, and saltwater disposals. We're your strategic partners in optimizing investments, slashing operating expenses. Performance Chemical Company. How you get there matters.